My name's Holt. I went to school here with Billy, graduated the same year. But I'm a two-time Iraq vet, okay? I served 2 tours over in Iraq, back now, disabled, living off VA pension, stuff like that. And some of the things I'm going to talk to you tonight about are a little controversial, a little far out there, but I want you guys to be receptive and understand what's going on. But we're down in there, Occupy Strasbourg, part of the Occupy Wall Street movement. But there's some things I want you guys to understand and kind of comprehend about the system in which we live in. But a show of hands here, how many guys think 9/11 was an inside job? Woo! Okay. Anyone that didn't raise their hands, can I get your feedback on why you feel it wasn't?
It makes no sense. No. And it's been debunked completely, thoroughly.
What, that it was the terrorists that did that?
Yes.
Okay.
Story, the version that makes sense and
okay.
rational has
well,
evidence.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
In reference to that, it's been shown through the United States history that the United States has provoked, in a sense, the enemy when they haven't been provoked. And that's been done through the Spanish-American War, it's been done through so many different other wars. And that's how they get the war.
I know, in science they call this a false correlative, that unless you establish concrete, compelling evidence, then you're just drawing conclusions.
Okay. So,
you asked my feedback.
Okay. No.
I'm a skeptic and a scientist.
So I'm going to ask then, how do 2 buildings fall down at the rate of gravity without any resistance?
And buildings did, because the infrastructure was, instead of having a normal, the same kind of infrastructure that a regular skyscraper would have, they were built to resist wind shear, and they had a sort of lattice work, and while they understood that they were fire hazards, they went ahead with it anyway, thinking that the likelihood of a fire of that magnitude happening was not possible, and that is why
they were also built to withstand the impact of a jetliner.
Oh, yes, they were. That is correct. And there's over 1,700 independent scientists that are not on government payroll that have confirmed that there is traces of nanothermite, which is a highly incendiary device used by the United States government and cannot be made in the homes of regular civilians. It has to be made in a laboratory. And they have found that in the debris and dust of the World Trade Center sites. And you can also say about World Trade Center 7, which fell down. It wasn't even touched, but apparently fell in a perfect controlled debt. Apparently from debris that was collected from the 2 towers falling down and on fires, okay? Now, if you ask yourself all these questions and kind of question what the government response is, you kind of come up with a different story. You know, you look at the Pentagon site, and you look at pictures before it had collapsed, and you just see a giant hole with no plane whatsoever.
Holes too small, too.
Yes, exactly. You know, a lot of Americans are waking up to this, and you know, if you ask me if I believe what this is, you know, that this is what the truth is, I believed, and when I joined the Army, that 9/11 was totally perpetrated by terrorists, and that these terrorists had perpetrated an act of war against the United States, and that's simply not the fact. That's not the truth, people. And the more that you wake up to this fact, the more you understand what's going on in Wall Street and all around the world right now. Right now in Athens, Greece, there's over 200,000 people protesting against the government for so much debt. Greece, Portugal, Ireland now are so far in debt they cannot come out of it. Their countries are going to erupt in a civil war. And the time that we start realizing that this is going to affect us, it's going to be already too late. You know, we can come here, we can listen to music, and we can have our parties and good times, but it's time as us as a country to wake up and understand that the government has been lying to us through corporate-controlled media, such as Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. You know, you look up any independent sites on like Russian news or Iranian news, I mean, check out what the enemy's saying, you know? And this whole terror plot by the Iranian government to kill a Saudi ambassador, it's just total, doesn't make any sense. People have even said, what does Iran profit from this? Nothing. It's just to create a fake propaganda war against an enemy with tons of oil. You look at Gaddafi now, murdered in the streets. Why? What, he was an evil dictator? Or was the government, the United States government lie to us and say that he was doing all these horrible, atrocious things, but yet Libya had the highest living standard in all of Africa. They had some of the best freaking, public welfare states that we had, in America. And it also, the secret is that they'll have 40% of Africa's oil. And that's what our government is after, oil. In Iraq and Afghanistan doesn't have any oil, but guess what Afghanistan has?
Heroin.
Heroin and marijuana. Woo! They supply over 90% of the world's heroin and marijuana to the United States. And those numbers have only gone up since the invasion begun. So ask me, how does the increase correlate to the U.S. troops that are there? The U.S. troops are helping grow in it.
Are you,
And I was on a U.S. Ranger team, okay? I have seen some stuff that you guys have never seen in your entire lives. And I come back here and I try to tell you what the truth is, what's going on in this country. That this country is very corrupt, very evil, and the people that are ruling it are not fit to rule. Because they don't have us in their best intentions. You could have, your theories that 9/11 was an inside job, that's fine. You can have those theories. But the facts just don't correlate. And who profited from the war on terror? Was it Saddam Hussein? He's dead. Was it Osama bin Laden? He's dead. Is it Gaddafi? He's dead. Anyone that stands in the way of the United States government ends up dead. And you have to realize that the real people that profited off this war are the people in control, like George Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld.
And agree with everything you said.
Yes, exactly. And people need to start realizing that it's not just Occupy Wall Street. It's not just end corporate greed. It's end the corruption that has crippled this country.
Yeah.
The lies and the deceit that has crippled this country. And I didn't go over to Iraq to watch my friends die in my arms, literally in my arms. And I come back and I think there's something wrong with me. I think that I can't fit in this world. That everybody doesn't understand. It's not something wrong with me. It's something wrong with America. Okay? These people are, you guys are, I'm not saying you individuals, but as a whole, this country is very stupid and very asleep to what's going on. And if we keep waiting to wake up, it's going to be too late. Do you know on November 8th, they're launching a FEMA emergency broadcast test. FEMA has concentration camps all around the United States. Jesse Ventura, the former Minnesota governor and actor from movies such as The Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's publicly come out and said about these FEMA concentration camps.
Obama just put 20,000 people up to man those camps. They're manning them now.
Yes, they're manning them right now.
Only for American citizens.
Yeah, and behind these camps, there's gigantic coffins that are meant to fit 3 bodies each, stacked, hundreds of thousands of them. And that's for people like you and me who understand what the truth is. That's what these camps are for. And the fact is, the world right now is going completely bankrupt. Completely bankrupt. And the longer that we wait to actually do something, this country is going to lead itself into war with Iran, China, and Russia. And we're not going to win that war. And we need to wake up right now and understand that we need to take the power back as a country, as a people, and say that we're not going to take this from the government. We're not going to take them pushing us down and beating us in the streets like in New York City. It's a police state, and we're not going to take it. And I think everybody here has at least been receptive of this, because a lot of people walking on Main Street do not get what's really going on. They think that they can just push it aside and it's not going to affect them. Well, it's going to affect everybody. It's going to affect all of us as a country and as a population. And if we need to wake up, and I've been talking to other friends of mine that have been and served in Iraq with me, and other people that have served in Afghanistan, and they understand that this has all been a lie and deceit. We didn't find Al-Qaeda over there. We didn't find any weapons of mass destruction. But that's okay, right? That's okay that we didn't find any weapons of mass destruction, right? We just invaded a country and killed 1 million other civilians. 1 million Iraqi civilians dead at the cost of what, 3,000 Americans?
And fleeced America.
Yeah. And another thing too is that you need to understand that this is very dark. This is very evil. These people are very evil and corrupt. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of the group called the Freemasons? Yeah. Yes. You can even see it outside on Dunkelberger's, right above it, the Freemason logo. And Frazetta's over in East Stroudsburg. These people control things secretly from the shadows. And they act like they're not really there, but they are. And I'm tired of sitting around and watching this country go to hell, and me losing my mind because I come back and try to tell people the truth. And you people laugh, and you snicker, and you think that you know everything. It's not what you read on the news, it's what people see with their own eyes. And I've seen the truth over in Iraq, and it's genocide. Genocide in the streets. People dying for no reason. And it's all for oil, money, and profit from the rich corporate elite. So I'm asking you right now to go do your own research. Go do your own research if you don't believe me. Go to Infowars.com, go see Loose Change.
Trilateral Commission.
Yeah. The Trilateral Commission, the CFR, Council on Foreign Relations, that a lot of these corporate, politicians are part of, it's what rules the world.
Absolutely.
Did you ever see here the Bilderberg Group?
The Bilderberg, yeah.
Bilderberg Group. They meet in secret every year to determine public policy around the world and to plan out their new world order. The thing that's written on the back of the dollar bill, the Novus Ordo Seclorum, New World Order. And it's got a 13-layered pyramid with the all-seeing eye. You people need to understand that this is very real and this is very serious. And this is not just, conspiracy theory. Theories does not go with the word conspiracy all the time. Because what was assassinated with Julius Caesar? It was a conspiracy. John F. Kennedy, it's a conspiracy. But if you also listen to John F. Kennedy, you can listen to his Secret Society speech. I dare you to look it up. Secret Society speech, where he talks about how the world is controlled by a ruthless conspiracy from the top. And that's why he was assassinated. Just like Martin Luther King, who called out the greatest purveyor of violence in his age, his own government. These people are very dangerous and very evil. And you can stand up there with a picket sign all you want and say that you have your rights as much as you want. They can beat you to the ground, but they will never take away your freedom to do what's right, to stand up and say that you've had enough and you're not going to take it anymore. And you need to wake up and understand that this is what's controlling you before it's too late, because they're already preparing for martial law in this country.
If they declare a national state of emergency, every one of us has to report to the fucking post office, which will become the national registry. They'll tell you if you can stay with your family, if you can keep your kids. The banks will all close, they'll take all your money, man. We've already voted for that shit. It's already been amended on to things like, oh, help this woman, help this fucking shit here, and that shit's on the back of it, man. You didn't read that.
And another thing with the guns, they're trying to take all the guns. If you look at Hurricane Katrina,
Don't register your guns.
the National Guard came by and took everybody's gun.
Don't register your guns. Buy your guns if you're going to buy guns, if you want to protect what you have.
Yeah. But they came by in Hurricane Katrina and took all the guns. And now they're even talking that they're going to take your kids. They're going to take your kids from the school, keep them in a stadium or something like that until you come with your guns and trade them in.
It's ruled that if your kids are in school and the national state of emergency comes across, doors are locked down, those people are removed, you have no contact, you can't get your wife if she works there, you can't get anything.
But what I'm saying now is that, sorry.
It's all good, don't be silly.
Okay. All around the world, they're lying about the war on terror, they're lying about the war on drugs. It's just a fake war to bump up the police state. And that if we don't stand up right now as a country and do something about this as a people, not just standing there with picket signs and protest signs because the police keep beating us down, but I mean rise up and do something. This country is going to go to war and we're not going to win. If we go to war with Iran, China, and Russia, we're not going to win. This country is going down a very dark, evil path. And people need to start waking up and understand that it's going to affect your life. Because you can not care about politics all you want. But then you sit there and you're working at your job, and guess what? Here comes the Chinese army. It's going to affect your life then. So start asking questions, start talking to people, start talking to people as many as you can.
Ask questions.
Ask questions, question your government. That's what the #1 amendment is, the freedom of speech, the freedom of assembly, the right to protest.
Use your brain. You
Yeah.
don't have a brain. Use your brain. Research your own data.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Anyways, but thank you everybody.